It's an unfortunate Tuesday morning. We regret to report that there's been a massive terror strike in Manchester, United Kingdom. With what we know right now, that a blast ripped through Ariana Grande's concert venue at Manchester, killing 19 and injuring over 50 people. Now, this blast occurred while people were exiting the venue. The police suspect a suicide bomber's hand in the attack. As the police continues to scan the area, residents have been asked to avoid the area. With what we know, the United Kingdom Prime Minister Theresa May has condemned the attack, terming it an appalling terror attack. Prime Minister Narendra Modi too tweeted a short while back his condemnation, saying that his thoughts and prayers are with the families of the deceased.
Massive explosions. And everyone started to run. No. Everyone was pushing and shoving. I got pushed over. It was just loads of chaos and everyone was scared and screaming. But we got took out of like an exit. And now apparently I've heard people saying it's a bomb.
Of an explosion at Manchester Arena in the city centre. This was at the conclusion of the Ariana Grande concert. Currently, we have 19 people confirmed to have lost their lives in the explosion and around 50 casualties that are being treated at 6 hospitals across Greater Manchester. My thoughts are very much with those that have been injured and lost their lives and their loved ones at this terrible time. We are doing all that we can to support them. Officers from Greater Manchester Police and Emergency Services are working at the scene and are supporting those affected. We are coordinating the operation here at Greater Manchester Police Headquarters.
Just heard a bang, and nobody knew what happened, so everyone was looking at each other. What happened? And then a few seconds later, there was a massive stampede or panic or shouting and screaming started, and everybody, which majority are kids and teenagers, so they just ran towards the nearest exit. And they were sort of jumping on the sort of chairs and trying to just run as fast as they can towards the exits. And we tried to go towards the exit, but we couldn't because there were so many people trying to get out. It was just completely blocked. And the more it was, the panic was getting worse. So once we got out and went inside the foyer, and we can see from the left there was another huge stampede coming towards us. So we just went towards this alley, and we didn't know what to do. So the best thing we could think of was just try to get out of this concert area and just go towards the main exit towards on the street, which we did. And we saw people were just crying, and majority of kids and teenagers, so they had lost contact with their parents, so they were trying to call on the mobile, and the police came very, very quickly, and the response were absolutely amazing. How quickly they arrived, and then ambulances arrived, and they just cordoned off everything. And I've seen people, and police were like all sorts of police, really.
All right, so you just heard an eyewitness account. We just want to take our viewers through on what exactly happened. Now, on your television screen is the Manchester Arena. Now, this is formerly known as the MEN Arena. It is the biggest indoor venue in the city with a capacity of around 18,000 for concerts. It's mostly used for concerts. You can see there exactly how it pans out. You can see the Victoria Station right on the right-hand side. Now, this blast took place at about 3:05 Indian Standard Time. All right, so that is what it looks. All right, so this is what it looks like. We just want to take our viewers through. This is the Manchester Arena. This blast took place here at about 3 a.m. India Standard Time, at about 10 p.m. Manchester time. Now, the capacity of the stadium is about 18,000. It is usually used for concerts. It is the biggest indoor venue in the city. Now, the arena foyer connects with the Victoria train and tram stations. You can see right there. On the corner, a major hub on the northern edge of the city's centre. A lot of trains connecting from London and other cities in the United Kingdom actually comes in at the Victoria train and tram station. Now, the arena regularly hosts concerts by major stars like Ariana Grande, who's a 23-year-old American TV teen actress turned pop star. So, you know, the tragedy, I'm afraid, is only amplified because just look at the demographic of the kids or the children or, you know, young teenagers who would have gone to attend the concert. Clearly, the entire world today stands shocked. Lots of tweets coming in by celebrities in social media. I'd like to connect to my colleague Elvi, who's going to take us through some of them. Elvi, it's over to you.
That's right, Preeti. The world has come together in support of the victims of this particular terror attack. That's what the police has called it. And celebrities especially have expressed their solidarity on social media. Let's take our viewers through a few of the tweets that have come on Twitter. Here is Katy Perry, who's tweeted her condolences. She says she's broken-hearted for the families tonight, broken-hearted for Ariana, broken-hearted for the state of this world. That's what Katy Perry has to say on Twitter. Here is Selena Gomez also, who's tweeted. She says no parent wants to hear that their child is never coming home. She says prayers to the families in Manchester that are hurting and prayers for Manchesters. That's Selena Gomez expressing her condolences as well. There's many more celebrities who have come out with their tweets and thoughts and prayers on Twitter. Jennifer Lopez is one of them. She says thoughts, prayers, and my whole heart is with the Manchester this evening. That's what Jennifer Lopez has to say. Taylor Swift has also tweeted this morning. She says, my thoughts, prayers and my tears are for all those affected by the Manchester tragedy tonight. I'm sending all my love. That's what Taylor Swift says. As more reactions coming in, especially from celebrities, especially from the singing world of music. Demi Lovato says, my prayers are with you, Manchester. She says she's tearing up imagining innocent concert goers losing their lives. She says she's praying for everyone and all Arianators. That's what Demi Lovato says. And Ariana Grande, whose concert was the target of this particular terror attack, she herself has tweeted, and she says she's broken from the bottom of her heart, and she says she's so sorry. She has no words to express her feelings at this point. So everybody's broken-hearted, everybody's coming together in support of the victims of this particular attack, Preeti.
Thanks, Elvi. We'll come back to you, you know, on because social media right now abuzz with this tragic incident. Let's just listen in to what, you know, we have a video there from the concert. Just when the lights went out, a blast was heard. Let's play that video.
Oh my God. What's going on? What just happened? What's going on? Oh my God.
There's no need to bunch up. There's no problems here. Just take your time and keep... Thank you for coming and having a good time tonight. Everything is fine. Just take your time exiting the building.
So one can actually get the sense of panic there. Now that arena, the Manchester arena, was practically filled to capacity. It's a capacity of 18,000 people. That video there gave us a sense of panic, how people started running out. Now this blast actually took place in the foyer area, which connects the arena to the Victoria tram and train station. I want to bring in my colleague Lavina, who's with us right now. You know, Lavina, just take us through on what exactly happened, because we played out that video there, a chilling video where, you know, fans could actually hear the blast go off. And of course, they're inside the stadium still, and the blast took place at the foyer. Will you give us details?
Yes, this happened at 10:33 now, we precisely know, as released by the Manchester police, when the concert had finished and people were coming out of the Manchester arena that has the capacity of 21,000 people. So this would be when people are buying their T-shirts and their souvenirs and coming out connected. This foyer would be connected to Manchester Victoria Station that connects to various cities in the UK, and people from various cities would have come in to see this concert and to the arena, which is connected, and you can go into the arena from the Victoria Station. And this happened just as people were coming out. So while the security was quite tight as they were going in, one would need to establish, and it's still being established, what kind of security was present when people were coming out. Now, number two, there has been another controlled attack carried on by the police on a suspicious item of clothing that has nothing to do with this attack. But the third thing is there has been no one taken into custody or responsibility taken by another group. That has not been confirmed to us as of now, but there has been a witness account of police surrounding a silver car and taking in on gunpoint one person. Not confirmed who this person is, but all indications are that this is a suicide bomb attack, because the injuries being treated in the hospital, apart from crush, are shrapnel injuries. And soon after the explosion, people saw nuts and bolts and screws that they had to push around to run. A lot of these children are being housed by hotels and strangers. Taxis have given free ride. So community spirit coming to forefront at this point when there has been this shameful and the biggest attack that UK has seen in the recent past.
All right, stay on with me, Lavina, because we're going to actually talk about the larger debate of security here and why Manchester Arena was such an easy target. We have a whole map there. But before we cut across to that, Lavina, let's listen into another eyewitness account, a heart-rending account that we're getting in.
I just run for my life, and she told us to calm down because it was a balloon.
Who told you it was a balloon?
Staff. They stopped us from running.
And how did you manage to get out?
Told us to be calm, and then a few minutes later they let us out. And then ambulances came, and we realised it wasn't a balloon.
And can you...
Clearly, people completely shocked, but let's take you through the timeline and what exactly happened at about 10 p.m. Manchester time.
Oh my God.
They'd come to enjoy a night out with American singer Ariana Grande, but just as the concert finished, it turned to chaos. Witnesses say up to 2 blasts were heard at the Manchester Arena, sending people fleeing in panic.
It was huge. It was almost it was, imagine like a 2 or 3 story brick wall had just separated itself from a building and just fell flat onto the ground. It was a really loud, sharp bang.
Greater Manchester Police said on Twitter that emergency services were responding to reports of an explosion and went on to ask people to avoid the area to allow first responders to do their work. It's not clear what caused the deaths and injuries.
The more it was, the panic was getting worse. So once we got out and went inside the foyer, and we can see from the left there was another huge stampede coming towards us.
Manchester has one of the largest indoor arenas in Europe. It can hold 21,000 people. Train services to and from Manchester Victoria Station, located under the arena, have been cancelled, and the station's been evacuated.
People running, screaming. We opened the windows and we could hear people and shouting, and the police very quickly came in. It was, as I said, they were very quickly on the scene. It was very well dealt with from what we could see from where we were. A lot of ambulances and police, but people were running. I know 2 of my housemates went down to work to come close to the scene, and that they could, kids were, it seemed to be a very young crowd at the concert, and a lot of them were a lot of screaming kids. It's terrific.
Britain's on its second highest alert level of severe, meaning an attack is considered highly likely. And police are treating what's happened in Manchester as a terrorist incident. Alexia O'Brien, Al Jazeera.
Now, this blast took place at the foyer of this arena. Now, this is the place where memorabilia of the concert is there. There are T-shirts, you can come and buy books of the artist, in this case, Ariana Grande. So that is where the blast took place. So this is actually the foyer. Now, this is what the Manchester Arena looks like. It's a massive venue. It can house about 21,000 people. So one can well imagine how packed this stadium was. It's the biggest venue in the area. In the United Kingdom, it's one of the biggest venues for concerts. So it's always a chosen choice. It's always a chosen venue when an artist is traveling, is on tour, and Ariana Grande was on a tour in England at this point of time. Now, this blast took place right here. Now, this is the foyer area. It's right outside the venue. Like I said, this is where the memorabilia is usually. Now, why was security compromised at the Manchester Arena? One of the main factors of that, and I'll try and bring in Lavina, who'll try and explain why, was because of the Victoria Railway tram and train station, which is right here. Now, Victoria Railway Station is a huge hub. It connects in terms of to the entire England. A lot of trains pulling in from London as well. So this arena connects to that, therefore a huge security hazard, and that could be one of the main reasons why security was compromised, because whoever came in could have, come in and gone out. But what the police is right now contemplating is the involvement of a suicide bomber. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but I want to bring in Lavina. Lavina, take us through on two issues. One, the involvement of a possible suicide bomber, and the other, we are playing out the map of the Manchester Arena. Why is it that security was compromised? Because why was the venue picked? One of the main reasons, Arena, could be the fact that the Victoria train terminus is right next to the arena.
First, on suicide bomber, all the indications are that this would be a suicide bomber, because soon after the blast, people saw nuts and bolts, and the injuries that are being treated are that for shrapnel. So all the indications that this could be a suicide bomber. Now, on your second question of security, of course, there are questions being asked as to why in the foyer there was not much security. There is always some kind of security. I have been to Manchester constantly and several times on the station, but it is not very much geared for such a kind of attack, which is why it took place there. In going into the arena, there would be a lot of security checks, and therefore it possibly would not have, the person would not have been able to pass. Now, these are questions that would be considered by the meeting that is happening on Cobra meeting and Terror Squad meeting, but it is quite difficult to completely have security everywhere. Yes, the moment the attack happened, in moments of the attack, the emergency, the helicopters and the security national security, everyone was alerted and was there. Now, why was the security not there? Should there be more security in future? Will be questions that would be considered. One thing I would say for sure, like Paris never remained the same after the Paris and the Nice attacks, France never remained the same. UK will not remain the same. There will be a lot of security concern that would be looked into, and elections are around the corner. Right. I must add, security will be at the top of people's agenda, and security spend, which is being cut in this country for a very, very long time, yes, that will come under a lot of debate.
Well, you're right there, and possibly the political campaign will be all around this particular terror attack as well, Lavina. What we're doing right now is giving out the three-dimensional picture of where this blast took place in Manchester. Now, this is the Manchester Arena. Houses about 21,000 people, so one can well imagine how packed to capacity this was.